Brilliance Audio presents The Ocean Liner by Marius Gabriel, performed by Angela Daw. "He's a very ugly man," Rachel said. "Even uglier than his photographs. But look at his eyes," Masha replied. "They burn like coals." "Well, I don't find him impressive. And as for his music—" "You don't like his music?" "Not in the slightest." Rachel, who had studied at the music conservatory in Leipzig before the Nazis had ejected her, had firm views on modern music. "If I wish to be disturbed, I shall go to the zoo and listen to the tigers roar." "But that's exactly my point. His music excites one, the way a dangerous animal excites one." The two girls had been craning over the railing to watch Stravinsky come aboard their ship. They thought of it as theirs, this magnificent American liner, even though it had so far carried them only from Bremen to Le Havre. But those 500 nautical miles had already taken them into a new world. Stravinsky was making slow progress up the gangplank, helped by a middle-aged woman, evidently his traveling companion. They were met by the charming senior steward, Mr. Nightingale, immaculate in his white serge and gold buttons. Mr. Nightingale attempted to take the composer's bag, but he refused. "I'm sure it contains his latest work," Masha whispered to Rachel. "Too precious to be entrusted to anyone." Perhaps sensing that he was being watched, Stravinsky looked up. His eyes met the girls'. They both darted back from the rail and began to walk along the deck swiftly, arm in arm, past the rows of loungers, embarrassed at having been caught staring at the great man. "I saw The Rite of Spring in Berlin a few years ago," Rachel said. "It's about a young girl who dances herself to death. I found it quite horrible." "I've seen it too. I was electrified." "Hardly a pleasant sensation, I should say. That's how the Americans execute their criminals, isn't it?" "I felt my heart beating so hard that I thought it was going to jump out of my chest. The Nazi papers said it was degenerate rubbish, of course." "Well, one has to bow to the sublime taste of the Nazis. And it's unfortunate that he's a Jew. He is the kind of conceited Jew who gives all us Jews a bad name." "As a matter of fact, my dear Rachel, he is Russian Orthodox and a devout Christian." Rachel arched her plucked eyebrows satirically. "Oh, Masha, not even a Jew, and you're in love with him?" "I'm not in love with him, only with his music." "I am distressed to see you already whoring after the Gentile," Rachel replied with a pious sniff. "You're very naughty to make fun of Rabbi Moskowitz," Masha said. She had been warned for years that her cousin Rachel was dangerous, though nobody had explained quite what the danger was. Rachel was certainly very satirical. Masha was a vivacious young woman of 20 with a cloud of dark hair and bright hazel eyes. Her cousin was older by 3 years. While not so pretty, Rachel was blonde, which they both felt would be an advantage in America. They had the family name Morgenstern, and they were first cousins, although they had grown up in different cities, Rachel in Leipzig, Masha in Berlin. Before leaving Bremen, both girls had been subjected to stern lectures on keeping themselves pure as they embarked on new lives. Rachel, who had a facility for quoting scraps of the Torah in a nasal chant, had made Rabbi Moskowitz the subject of a number of jokes. "Thy lewdness shall be uncovered, and mark my words, child." Rachel wagged her finger, squinting hideously like Rabbi Moskowitz. "Thou shalt pluck off thine own breasts." They had reached the end of the promenade and now turned around. Despite herself, Masha was laughing at Rachel's parody. It was unfortunate that just at that moment, Stravinsky had reached the deck. Stravinsky glowered at the cousins, panting for breath after his slow climb. Masha realized with horror that the celebrated composer imagined he was the subject of their mirth. She clapped her hand over her mouth. That, however, made the situation even more uncomfortable. Stravinsky's companion, a spinsterish woman in a lavender tweed suit, took his arm to steady him and steered him past the cousins. As they went by, Masha noted Stravinsky's yellowed skin, faltering walk, and general air of exhaustion. She felt a rush of pity. "He looks so ill," she exclaimed in an undertone to Rachel. "So broken. And he thought we were laughing at him. I'm mortified."